Hello, my students. Tell me something. Have you ever wondered why video games feel so much bigger than just games? Why millions of people escape into virtual worlds every day? Why a story inside a screen can make you laugh, cry, shake, or feel something real inside your heart? Because today, video games are more than entertainment. They are escape, they are therapy, they are community, they are storytelling powerful enough to change your emotions, your mind, even your life. In this episode, we're going to dive deep into the world of gaming, from the fun to the freedom, to the incredible storytelling that sometimes hits harder than movies or books. So stay with me till the very end, because the final part of this episode will open your eyes to a truth most people never realize. Video games are not destroying reality. They are helping millions survive reality. Let's begin this journey together. This is Flexlish English, where you learn English through the stories that shape our world. Part 1, From Simple Pixels to a Global Universe. If you had shown a video game from today to someone in the 1980s, they would have stared at it like a miracle. How did a simple game with 2 paddles and a bouncing dot become universes filled with stories, emotions, music, and worlds bigger than our own? This is the story of video games, a story that begins with fun, grows into escape, and transforms into one of the most powerful storytelling industries on Earth. Let's go back to where it all began. The beginning, when games were just games. The earliest video games were simple, extremely simple. Pong was nothing but a digital tennis match. Pac-Man was a yellow circle running away from colorful ghosts. Mario was a plumber jumping across blocks to save a princess. Nobody imagined these small, pixelated worlds would evolve into an entire global culture. Nobody imagined they would become billion-dollar industries. Nobody imagined they would become a form of art. At the start, video games existed for one reason: fun. They were toys, entertainment, something to pass time. But something interesting happened. People didn't just have fun. They connected with these games emotionally. Kids who grew up with Mario still remember the sound of collecting a coin. Teenagers who played early racing games still remember the feeling of speed. Families who gathered around early consoles still remember the laughter, the competition, the bonding. Video games became memories, and memories are powerful. The evolution. Technology changed the game. Then technology exploded. Better graphics, better sound, better processors, controllers with vibration, 3D environments, online worlds. Suddenly, games weren't just simple challenges. They were experiences. Think about it. In the past, you controlled a tiny character on a tiny screen. Today, you walk through giant open worlds like in Zelda or Red Dead Redemption. You fight battles in universes like Halo or Final Fantasy. You live alternate lives in games like The Sims or Minecraft. You explore cinematic stories like in The Last of Us or God of War. These games aren't toys anymore. They are adventures. They are journeys. They are stories that stay with you. As technology grew, video games became something deeper, a place where people could live, escape, and feel. Why games became an escape? Let's be honest, life is stressful. School, work, relationships, responsibilities, the real world can be heavy. Video games became a place where people can breathe, a place where they can be strong, a place where they can be free. In games, you're not stuck in traffic, you're not dealing with bills, you're not facing social pressure. In games, you can be a hero A warrior, a builder, an explorer. You can save worlds, solve mysteries, fight dragons, travel galaxies. Games give something reality sometimes cannot. Control, freedom, adventure, possibility. This escape isn't weakness, it's healing. People don't play games because they hate their lives. People play games because games give them a space to experience life differently, a space where fear doesn't stop them, a space where failure is temporary, a space where they can try again. For millions, video games are therapy, a break from the noise, an escape from stress, a safe place to feel powerful again. Games became community. At first, games were lonely, a single-player experience, but then came multiplayer, then online servers, then voice chat, then streaming. Suddenly, people weren't just playing with computers, they were playing with each other. This changed everything. Games became social, a place where friendships are born, a place where people feel belonging, a place where shy kids speak freely, a place where strangers become teammates and teammates become friends. Entire communities formed. Millions watch esports. Millions watch Twitch streamers. Millions join online guilds. Millions spend evenings laughing with people they've never met in person. For many, video games are the most social part of their lives. Games became storytelling. This is where the magic truly begins. At some point, video games realized something. They didn't have to be just action. They didn't have to be just competition. They could be stories. And suddenly, video games began telling stories better than movies. Think about The Last of Us, a story of survival, loss, and love so powerful it became a TV show. Or Red Dead Redemption 2, a story about loyalty, identity, and morality in a changing world. Or Life is Strange, a story about choices, emotions, and consequences. These stories don't just entertain you, they let you live them. You don't just watch the hero make a hard choice. You make that choice. You don't just cry because the character is sad. You cry because it feels like you lost someone. This is the power of interactive storytelling. Movies show you a story, books describe a story, but video games let you experience a story. And that makes all the difference. Why this matters more than ever. Today, video games are not just games, they are storytelling, therapy, community, escape, challenge, creativity, art. They are the modern campfire, the place where humans gather to share worlds, ideas, and emotions. A game is no longer just a digital product, it's an emotional journey. This shift didn't happen overnight. It happened through decades of technological progress, cultural change, and human curiosity. And now, video games are one of the most powerful forms of art on the planet. But how did they grow into this? How did games go from simple, pixel fun to emotional masterpieces? That's exactly what we'll explore in Part 2, where we dive deeper into how video games create emotional escape and build entire alternate realities inside the human mind. Part 2. The Beautiful Escape. Why Virtual Worlds Feel Safer Than Reality. One of the most misunderstood parts of video games is this idea of escape. People sometimes say it with judgment, like escaping is something negative, as if stepping into another world means you're running away from real life. But that's not true. Escape is not weakness. Escape is protection. Escape is recovery. Escape is how humans rest, heal, and breathe. Before video games existed, people escaped through books, music, movies, daydreaming, drawing, sports, prayer, any activity that helped them disconnect from pressure. Video games simply added a new kind of escape, one that is interactive, creative, and deeply immersive. To understand why video games became the #1 form of escape for millions, you have to understand what they offer that the real world doesn't. Let's explore it. 1. Games give you control. When life feels unpredictable. In real life, you can work hard and still fail. You can do everything right and still lose opportunities. Life has randomness, and sometimes it's painful. But in games, the rules are clear. If you practice, you improve. If you fail, you try again. If you put in effort, you see results. Games give you a sense of control that reality often refuses to give. A student who feels powerless in school may feel powerful in a game. A worker who has no control over their job may feel in control of their character. A person who feels lost in life may feel clear direction inside a mission or quest. This psychological shift is healing. It gives the brain a sense of agency, a reminder that effort matters. 2. Games let you be someone you can't be outside. Life puts limits on people, your age, your job, your location, your social skills, your finances, your health, your background. But inside a video game, none of that matters. In a game, you can become a warrior, a pilot, a magician, a detective, a leader, a builder, a survivor, a champion. Games let people explore identities they could never explore in real life. This isn't escapism, it's expansion. It allows people to feel strong when they feel weak, to feel brave when they feel afraid, to feel capable when they feel stuck. The virtual world becomes a mirror that reflects a stronger version of the player. 3. Games turn failure into progress. One of the most powerful psychological elements of video games is how they treat failure. In real life, failure can feel final. It brings consequences, embarrassment, judgment from others. People fear it so much they avoid trying. But in games, failure is part of the process. You lose, you learn, you adjust, you try again, you get better. The system expects you to fail many times before you succeed. Imagine if real life worked that way. Imagine if society said, "It's okay to fail. It's normal to fail. Keep trying. You're improving." Games teach resilience, the ability to fall and stand again. No wonder they feel good for the brain. They reward effort, not perfection. 4. Games offer safe spaces for emotions. Some people don't have supportive families, some don't have many friends, some don't feel safe expressing emotions in their environment. But inside a game, they can feel connected, respected, valued, included. A shy person who struggles socially might speak freely online with teammates. Someone dealing with stress may feel relaxed exploring an open world. Someone dealing with sadness may find hope in a story that inspires them. Games give emotional shelter, a place to feel things without judgment. This is why games help with anxiety, depression, and stress, not by replacing reality, but by giving the heart a safe place to breathe. 5. Games create flow, the most healing mental state. There is a psychological state called flow. It's when your mind becomes completely absorbed in what you're doing. Time disappears. Stress disappears. Your brain is fully focused, fully alive. Video games are one of the most effective ways to enter this state. The challenges are balanced. The tasks are engaging. Your actions create instant reactions. Your brain receives rewards, little hits of dopamine that make you feel motivated, present, awake. People spend hours gaming not because they're addicted to the game, but because they're addicted to the feeling of flow. Flow feels better than scrolling on your phone, better than passive entertainment, and sometimes better than real life. Flow gives the brain a break from overthinking, a break from stress, a break from responsibility. It's mental oxygen. 6. Games create worlds. You can think about games like Minecraft, a world where you build anything. Skyrim, a world of adventure and freedom. GTA, a world of chaos and possibilities. Fortnite, a world of creativity and competition. Zelda, a world of beauty and discovery. These are not games anymore. They are universes. People don't just play them, they live in them. You explore forests, galaxies, oceans, temples. You hear music that brings emotions. You complete quests that feel meaningful. You meet characters who feel alive. You make choices that shape your story. This level of immersion creates psychological relief. It transports you away from stress into a place where everything feels alive, exciting, and full of adventure. The escape becomes connection. 7. Games. Protect the mind by providing purpose. Purpose is a human need. People suffer when they feel directionless, when life becomes routine, predictable, boring, or stressful. Games restore purpose instantly. A mission, a quest, a goal, a challenge, a reward. Even if the purpose is fictional, the brain responds as if it's real. Your heart beats faster. Your mind becomes sharp. Your motivation rises. Games give the brain a reason to wake up, even if for a small moment. And sometimes, small moments of purpose are exactly what a person needs to survive difficult times. 8. Escape helps people return to reality. Stronger critics say people play games to avoid life. But the truth is the opposite. People play games so they can return to life with more energy, more balance, and more strength. Games offer mental rest so players can face real challenges again. Just like sleep restores the body, escape restores the mind. The goal of escape isn't to stay away from life, it's to help you handle life better. In the next part, we'll explore something even deeper: how video games became one of the most powerful forms of storytelling in human history, sometimes even more powerful than movies and books. Part 3. The Art of Storytelling. When Games Make You Feel. There's a moment every gamer remembers. A moment in a game where something happened that felt too real, too emotional, too powerful to forget. Maybe it was the death of a character you loved. Maybe it was a difficult choice you had to make. Maybe it was a scene that shook your heart. Maybe it was a line of dialogue that stayed with you for years. This is where video games stopped being entertainment and started becoming art. Because storytelling in video games is unlike storytelling in any other form. Movies show you a story. Books let you imagine a story. But video games let you live a story. And that changes everything. Let's explore why video game storytelling is so powerful, and why it continues to evolve into one of the world's strongest narrative mediums. 1. You are the main character in a movie. You watch the hero. In a book, You follow the hero, but in a video game, you become the hero. You're not watching someone else make decisions. You're making the decisions. You're choosing the dialogue. You're shaping the path. You're pulling the trigger. You're saving the friend. You're fighting the battle. This creates a level of emotional connection that no other medium can match. When your character is hurt, you feel it. When your character fails, you feel responsible. When your character grows, you feel proud. The story becomes personal because you are part of it. 2. Games create moral dilemmas. You can't avoid great games force you to make choices. Hard choices, uncomfortable choices, choices that reveal something about you. Think about games like The Walking Dead. Who do you save when both choices hurt? The Last of Us. Would you sacrifice one person to save the world? Detroit. Become human. Do you obey or rebel? Forgive or fight? Protect or escape? Games put your ethics under pressure. They ask questions that movies cannot ask because they make you take action. You can't sit back and judge. You have to choose. And once you choose, you have to live with the consequences. This transforms storytelling into a mirror that reflects your values, your fears, your instincts. 3. Games allow deep emotional attachment to characters. Some of the most beloved fictional characters today aren't from books or movies. They're from games. Nathan Drake, Joel and Ellie, Kratos, Master Chief, Geralt of Rivia, Aloy, Arthur Morgan. Why? Because gamers spend hours, sometimes hundreds of hours, with these characters. You fight with them. You suffer with them. You grow with them. You learn their backstories, their weaknesses, their dreams. You don't just watch their journey, you share it. This long-term relationship creates emotions that no 2-hour film can match. Some players cry when a character dies. Some feel empty when a game ends. Some replay games just to spend time with characters they miss. That's storytelling at its highest power, when fictional people feel real. 4. Games build immersive worlds you can explore. Books describe worlds. Movies show worlds. But games let you enter worlds. Open-world games changed storytelling forever. When you step into worlds like Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption, Witcher 3, Breath of the Wild, Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077, you don't just follow a story, you discover a living universe. You explore mountains, forests, seas, cities. You talk to strangers. You find secrets. You uncover hidden quests. Every corner has a tale. Every village has a history. Every soundtrack has emotion. Games give you the freedom to live inside the story rather than simply watch it. This immersion makes storytelling deeper, richer, and more impactful. 5. Music turns stories into emotions. A game soundtrack can hit harder than a movie soundtrack because the music plays while you take action. Think of the soft piano in Minecraft, the emotional guitar in The Last of Us, the wild orchestral battles in God of War, the lonely whistles in Red Dead Redemption 2, the nostalgic themes in Zelda music in games. Follows your movement, your choices, your discoveries. It turns scenes into memories, and those memories stay forever. 6. Stories evolve based on player choices. One of the greatest strengths of video games is the ability to create branching narratives. Games like Until Dawn, Heavy Rain, Cyberpunk, Mass Effect all allow the player to shape the story. This means Your story is different from mine. Your ending is different from mine. Your relationships are different from mine. You're not following one version of the story. You're creating your own. This makes the experience more personal, more emotional, and more meaningful. The story is not something you consume, it's something you build. 7. Games can show emotion without words. The most beautiful video game stories are not always told through dialogue. They're told through lighting, music, environment, characters' eyes, the silence after a tragedy, the landscape after a battle, the small details in a room. Games use visual storytelling in ways that can express emotion without a single line of text. You feel the story, not just hear it. 8. Video games tell stories. No other medium can. Some of the greatest narrative moments in gaming would lose their impact if turned into movies. Why? Because the emotional power comes from interaction. Shadow of the Colossus is powerful because you kill the giants. Journey is powerful because you walk that silent path. Dark Souls is powerful because you struggle and overcome. Games are emotional engines because they mix storytelling with agency. Your actions drive the narrative. This is the magic formula that makes video game stories unforgettable. In the next part, we dive into something just as important: the social side of gaming, community, friendships, and how games connect millions of people worldwide. Part 4. Connection, community, and the social heart of gaming. If you ask someone who doesn't play video games what gaming looks like, they might imagine a person sitting alone in a dark room, staring at a screen. But that image is outdated, completely wrong. Because today, video games are not a lonely activity. They are one of the most social, connected, community-driven parts of modern life. Games have become more than entertainment. They've become gathering places, homes, friends, families, online cities filled with millions of people living, talking, working, exploring, and sharing experiences together. Let's explore why video games became one of the most powerful social networks in the world, long before Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok existed. 1. Games build real friendships, even between strangers. There's something unique about playing with someone online. You meet a stranger, you fight the same enemy, you help each other survive, you complete missions together, and suddenly, you're not strangers anymore. Shared challenges create instant connection. Someone who plays with you every night knows more about your personality than a coworker you see daily. That's why so many gamers say, "My closest friends are people I met online." It doesn't matter where they live, another city, another country, another continent. Games erase borders. A Moroccan player can be teammates with someone from Japan. A Brazilian can laugh with someone from France. A teenager from India can talk for hours with someone from Egypt. The world becomes one big room. 2. Games connect people who struggle socially in real life. Not everyone feels comfortable speaking in real life. Some people are introverted, some have anxiety, some feel judged, some feel invisible. But inside a game, everything changes. You're judged by your skill, your teamwork, your personality, not your appearance, not your accent, not your social status. That shy kid becomes the brave leader of the team. That quiet teenager becomes the strategist. That insecure player becomes the hero. Games give people a voice when the real world silences them. This is why gaming communities feel like family. They bring out the best in people who have been hiding their true selves. 3. Games turn competition into friendship. There is something powerful about rivalry. When you compete in a game, a football match, a shooter, a battle royale, you experience intense emotion with others. Victory feels sweeter together. Defeat feels lighter together. Memories become stronger together. Competition doesn't separate players, it bonds them. How many friendships started with, "Good game, bro?" Or a funny moment in the match? Or a shared comeback victory? Millions. Gaming competitors become gaming allies. 4. Voice chat makes gamers feel like they're in the same room. Before voice chat, gaming communication was slow and limited. Typing messages during battles felt impossible. But today, voice chat is everywhere. Clear, instant, real. Players joke, laugh, shout, plan, argue, and celebrate together. It feels like sitting with friends, even if they're thousands of kilometers away. This is why gaming doesn't feel like online life. It feels like real life, but inside a different world. 5. Games create communities. Some even become cultures. Every game that becomes popular creates its own world beyond the screen. Fortnite, dancers, memes, emotes, skins, concerts. Minecraft, builders, creators, teachers, architects. League of Legends, fans, tournaments, pro players, huge events. GTA Online, roleplay servers, storytellers, comedians. Roblox, kids building entire universes from imagination. Call of Duty, clans, teams, friendships created through teamwork. These communities live 24/7. Forums, Discord servers, YouTube channels, tournaments, cosplay, meetups. Games become cultures. Cultures become movements. People identify as gamers just like people identify as athletes, artists, musicians. It's not just a hobby when they feel disconnected from the real world. This isn't addiction, it's survival. Gaming communities provide support when real life feels overwhelming. 8. Games build skills that shape real-life teamwork, leadership, problem-solving, quick decision-making, strategy, patience. Games train these skills naturally. Think about it. A player who leads a team in Apex Legends can lead a group project at school. A player who coordinates strategy in Valorant can collaborate better at work. A player who learns to stay calm under pressure in Elden Ring can stay calm during real-life challenges. Gamers don't just escape into games, they bring lessons back into real life. 9. Games are the new social media. Social media lets you watch others. Video games let you experience with others. On Instagram, you see people. In games, you live with people. On Facebook, you scroll. In games, you act. Games are active socializing, not passive scrolling. They build deeper connections than likes and comments ever could. This is why more young people socialize in games than in real-world public spaces. Gaming is the new playground, the new hangout spot, the new neighborhood. 10. Games transform strangers into family. You start as teammates. You share victories. You share defeats. You laugh. You argue. You grow together. And one day, you realize something unbelievable. People you've never met feel closer than people you see every day. This is the power of shared worlds, shared struggles, shared memories. Games don't just build friendships, they build families. In the next part, Part 5, the final section, we explore the deeper truth, how video games shape the human mind, build creativity, and influence the future of storytelling, art, and even society. Part 5. The Future: Creativity, Imagination, and the New Language of Humanity. When you look at video games today, the vast worlds, the emotional stories, the millions of people connecting across continents, you realize something powerful. Video games are no longer a hobby. They are a new language, a new art form, a new way for humans to imagine, create, and express themselves. To understand where video games are going, we have to understand what they already became. Let's step into the future, a future shaped by creativity, technology, and the unstoppable human desire for meaning. 1. Games are becoming the most powerful form of art. Think about what makes art meaningful. A book gives you imagination. A movie gives you visuals and sound. Music gives you emotion. Painting gives you beauty. Theater gives you presence. A video game gives you all of them at the same time. Story, music, visuals, performance, world building, choice, emotion, interaction. Video games are the first art form in history where the audience becomes a participant, where the viewer becomes the hero, where the story bends around your choices, where your emotions shape the journey. In the future, games will be studied the way we study Shakespeare, Picasso, or Beethoven, because they are not just entertainment, they are modern mythology. 2. Games are training the next generation of thinkers. Games develop skills that schools rarely teach: problem solving, creativity, time management, leadership, teamwork, curiosity, resilience, strategic thinking. A child who learns to manage resources in a strategy game will later manage budgets and teams. A teenager who leads a squad in a battle royale learns leadership under pressure. A player who solves puzzles in Portal or Myst learns critical thinking and logic. Games are not distractions. They are simulations of life. They prepare the brain for complex challenges. They make people smarter, calmer, more adaptable. This is why many modern companies secretly prefer hiring gamers, because gamers are used to learning fast, failing fast, and trying again. 3. Games are becoming a tool for storytelling bigger than movies. In movies, you watch the hero save the world. In games, you save the world. This interactive experience is the future of storytelling. Writers, filmmakers, musicians, animators, and designers, they are all moving into gaming because games offer a freedom no other medium has. Imagine a future where stories adjust to your personality, games respond to your emotions, worlds evolve based on your choices, characters remember your actions, endings change depending on your moral values. We are already starting to see this, but in the next 20 years, gaming will redefine what it means to tell a story. We won't just watch stories, we'll live them. 4. Virtual worlds will become extensions of real-life games like GTA, Roblox, Fortnite, and Minecraft show a future where the virtual world is just as important as the real one. We are entering a time when people will attend concerts inside games. People will work together in virtual spaces. People will build digital homes and businesses. People will socialize more online than outside. People will create identities through avatars. The virtual world will not replace the real world. It will expand it. The generation born today will grow up believing something simple but revolutionary. There are two realities, physical and digital, and both belong to them. 5. Games will push technology forward. Every major tech revolution, graphics cards, 3D engines, motion capture, virtual reality, began with video games, and the future will be no different. We will see VR worlds that feel real, AI characters that talk to you like humans, holographic games, ultra-immersive worlds, games that read your emotions, games that transform based on your behavior. Games aren't just following technology, they are leading it. 6. Games will influence culture and society. Once upon a time, movies defined culture, then social media defined culture. Now, games define culture. Fashion trends begin inside Fortnite and Roblox. Music launches inside gaming platforms. Memes come from gaming moments. Characters from games become icons. Gamers become celebrities. Games are the new cultural engine. In the future, gaming will influence education, politics, art, mental health, creativity, social norms, human interaction. Video games will shape how we think, feel, and see the world. 7. Games help us understand ourselves. Under the graphics, missions, quests, and fights, games are really asking a deeper question. Who are you when you make decisions? When you choose mercy or revenge? When you protect or abandon? When you save or sacrifice? When you take risks or play safe? Games reveal parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. They help you see your courage, your intelligence, your creativity, your weaknesses, your fears, your desires. Games are not an escape from reality. They are a mirror reflecting who you truly are. 8. The final truth. Games bring out the human in us. A lot of people think video games are about violence, pixels, or competition. But gamers know the truth. Games are about connection. Games are about emotion. Games are about creativity. Games are about stories. Games are about imagination. Games are about discovery. Games are about growth. Games remind us that no matter how complicated life becomes, human beings still want adventure, purpose, challenge, belonging, meaning, freedom, and a place to dream. Video games give us those things, and as long as humans crave escape, connection, and imagination, video games will continue to evolve, inspire, and shape the future of our world. My students, now you see the truth behind video games. They're not childish. They're not a waste of time. They're not just for fun. Video games are worlds where people heal, where they connect, where they grow, where they imagine, where they become versions of themselves they can't be in real life. They are the new language of human storytelling, a language that mixes art, emotion, music, visuals, choices, and imagination into one unforgettable experience. If this episode touched you, if it made you think differently about the games you play or the people who play them, then go back and listen till the end again. Let the ideas sink deeper. Let the message stay with you. Thank you for listening to Flexlish English, where we learn English, but we also learn humanity. And remember, games aren't an escape from life. They're a reminder of what it means to feel alive.